Righty-ho, we're here. Yes, we were a little delayed because one of my best friends, Trevor Colt MC, was live streaming, and it wouldn't have been fair to have done this whilst he could have potentially still been live streaming when we were initially about to start at 8 o'clock. But it was a good thing I was quick to think and delay it in case it potentially overshot the 8 o'clock barrier. But it stopped at 8 o'clock, and I delayed it a bit too far, 25 minutes, but 10-15 minute delay would have been feasible because of the time Trevor finished the live stream. And he's got one tomorrow, and we've not got one tomorrow, luckily. But yes, we're here. Hello to you all. And we had 10 in here a moment ago. Now we've got 9. Hello to all of you in here in a good 2 minutes. Well, Ringer Mikey, hello, good evening to you, Mikey. And Blacksmith, hello, good evening to you, Blacksmith. I sincerely and certainly hoping you had a nice day in County Dorset. And Ellie in Scotland. Oh, I would never say good evening or hello without a big long hug or cuddle. Hello to you. Oh, not without many hugs and cuddles. From one of my greatly loving friends, lovely Ellie. One of my greatly loving friends, Ellie. And Joy, not without hugs and cuddles to you. Hello to you, lovely. And Libby and Philip. Hello to you, my good friends. Hello to Libby and Philip. A very, very very kindly and friendly, happily married couple who are not far from Eastbourne, Libby and Philip. I met Philip once, but I'm yet to meet Libby. But hello to you. Hello to both of you in here. Philip's the very tall man, a very tall, handsome, tall, brown hair, blue-eyed, handsome man is Philip. Round about 6 foot tall, I think he is. Something like that. Or I think he might be 6 foot 1, 6 foot 1.5, because I've personally met Philip. He's taller than I, and certainly a little big. He's not large, but he's presumably about 12, 13 stone, something like that, and I'm 5 foot 8, 11 stone. But I shouldn't go too far because I don't want to get into trouble with Libby and Philip. I certainly do not. But I don't know if Libby's. I wouldn't think Libby's my size, but never mind. There's my most handsome. Hello, Specs. Hello. Oh, thank you for saying I look handsome. Thank you for your compliments about regarding over what I look like. Thank you, Specs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And hello to you, Shane. Hello. Nice to see you. I can't forget what Philip looked like. I couldn't remember. I cannot forget what Philip looks like. Tall, brown hair, blue eyes, handsome. Is how I describe him. He's probably no taller than 6 foot 1.5, something like that, which is my guess. Although I know people who are taller than that. And hello to Carla. Hello. I'm gorgeous. Oh, thank you, Carla. Thanks for the compliments. Thank you. You're only 5 feet 2. Oh, bless you, Libby. Bless you. I've got another friend of mine who's 5 feet 2, and that's my friend Charlie. Lovely lady Charlie. She's your height as well. And also Joy, her daughter's half an inch taller than yourself. And yet Joy's taller than her daughter. And since her daughter's still her little girl, her daughter refers to Joy. She's apparently Joy's Lisa. Joy is Lisa's mumsy to her. You're 5 feet 2 as well. Oh, bless you as well, Specs. Bless you. John Travolta, eat your heart. I'm the new Travolta. I'm the new John Travolta. Oh, how astonishing. I don't think I could be John Travolta. Why that is I'm not 6 foot tall, and I don't have blue eyes, and also I can't dance like John Travolta. and so. Oh, but he is a small, slim man like I. Well, I'm small and skinny, really, is how one would by and large describe me. You know, it's just I remember you telling me before, Joy. And if you didn't know, you're the same height as David Scott, my bestie. He's a short man of 5'4.5", like yourself, at 5'4.5". Hello to you, Stevie. Hello, my lovely. Hello. But I really don't think I could be the new John Travolta, Joy. I don't think I could be the new John Travolta. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you kindly for your friendliness towards Blacksmith. Thank you. And gosh, we got nearly 20 in here. Got quite a good... Sonia! Hello, lovely Sonia. And the mods will almost certainly be lurking in the background. So hello to Harriet and Jodie in the background. Well, Harriet is a different matter at the moment, but Jodie, always a pleasure. I had sea bass. I had sea bass with some vegetables. Carla, sea bass and vegetables. Hi, Dormery. Hello to you. Ta-da! Hello to you. Maureen. Oh, no. Oh, Maureen, you're in hospital with a sepsis infection. Oh, no. Much empathy and strength and healing always, Maureen. I mean, I just hope Harriet did not see this. I really hope not. Because I just don't want Harriet going after those who are talking about poor health. What Harriet should do, in my opinion, is empathize to those with poor health and not just go after them and say, oh, and these people talk about poor health and this and that and this and that. I don't condone to that well. But strength and healing, Maureen, strength and healing. And I'm so sorry about your health ordeal. So sorry about this. It has gone now, Dawn Marie. The snow has gone. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Blacksmith, Sonia, and Stevie, for your friendliness towards Maureen. And Joy, thank you for your well wishes towards Maureen, too. Thank you. Oh, Joy, thank you for your friendliness towards Dawn Marie. No, it's worth having sea bass and veg, Carla. It's worth eating. A fruit and vegetable and fish diet certainly does one good, doesn't it? Thank you, Sonia. Thank you for wishing Maureen well. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm hoping. Thank you for wishing her a quick recovery. Thank you. Yes, yes, Dawn Marie, well said. Yes, Harriet, this will come as a good timely reminder to you, won't it? Empathise where you can. Don't complain about people talking about their poor health they're dealing with, just to say. You know. Yes, and it's certainly a get well soon to our lovely Maureen. Thank you. And as we know, tomorrow we've got something interesting happening. Tomorrow, Trevor is doing a big live stream tomorrow. And also other news to share. I am seriously aiming to get my podcast series started in 2 weeks' time. But the only thing is I'm thinking about selecting a YouTuber guest. I think Sapper would be a good candidate for a podcast guest of mine as my first guest. So I'm thinking, I'm going to get in touch with Sapper, and I'm thinking very much about having him as my first podcast guest. Because Mother and I, when we did the podcast live stream together back in June of 2024, I was surprised at how successfully well it went. And because of how successfully well it went, I thought, you know what? Why not do a podcast series? And if I do the podcast series, if it doesn't happen in Jan of this month, then it shall happen hopefully February time of this year. And So if the podcast series, what it will entail, should I go ahead with it on the very get-go, it's going to entail a twice monthly episodes representing namely YouTubers. There'll be YouTubers I'd be representing, whichever YouTuber I can interview or get in touch with, and also and there may be the odd occasion when I'll be interviewing some family members of mine. It's namely going to be StreamYard represented, and I might even interview some good friends of mine. So it's going to be a StreamYard live stream podcast, so there can be a bit of Q&A, namely me talking, like how Trevor and I did. It'll be more or less that format, and what Mother and I did. It'll be more or less that format, and just to say, and it'll be that format, and also when it's live, there'll be a bit of live Q&A, so some of you can ask questions if you so like, when we've spoken about the life stories and all that, once we got through that part. Thank you, Carla, thank you for your support. Thank you, Joy, and Sonia, and Loco, hello there. Like the saying from Star Wars, hello there. Yes, it's certainly a hello to you, and hope you're doing all right with your GCSEs. Oh, why the change? Well, did it for content creation reasons, Stevie. That's why, to better match and better represent the content that I provide. So it was really done as a means for a better representation for the content I provide. So it was done for content creation reasons. If it makes sense to you, that is. Hello to you, Hailey. Hello to you, my lovely. Your mock exams are going very well. You had a 2-hour long mock today. Oh my goodness, wow. Good luck with the next ones, and well done with the 2-hour mock you did. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you for your support for Loco. Thank you. Oh, Hailey, thank you for your friendliness towards Blacksmith and Joy. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. And some of you may be pleased to hear my event attending for 2025. Yes, couldn't agree with you more. But speaking of that, the 2025 event attending is happening earlier than I could have possibly imagined. And I'm happy it's happening earlier than I could have possibly imagined. But after the first one, I've got about a 2-month gap. But, one cannot expect so many events to happen in the latterly months of winter, and certainly not when it's bitterly cold. Oh, Sonia. Oh, my lovely, lovely Sonia. Thank you kindly for your friendliness towards Joy, and thank you, Joy, for your friendliness towards Sonia. Thank you. Hello to you, Christine. Hello to you. And hello to Clyde the cat. And hello to MC229 London Transport. Hello to you. Well, they can get wet, muddy, and sodden in the wet winters, the event attending showgrounds. It depends where you are. Like, say, for example, Carla, Steen Gardens in Worthing, for example, if it's, taking into account the weather we've had in recent times, walking around in it now, it would be muddy, wet, and sodden. So you definitely do not, your guess here is certainly not a lie. I can certainly confirm that to you over there. It's 21 Fahrenheit here. We're in for a very cold weekend into early. Oh gosh, that's far too cold. 21 Fahrenheit. 21 Fahrenheit is nothing but cold, which is -6. Very, very, very cold. Hello. I'm very well, thank you. I'm certainly very well. I'm hoping you're well too, more importantly. Oh, Sonia, thank you for your friendliness towards Christine. We wouldn't say hello without hugs and cuddles, my lovely Christine. Hugs and cuddles and hello. Hello. It would, yes. It's normally come around about March, April time we start warming up in the United Kingdom, don't we? March, April time, usually. Ooh. Still too cold to wear a medium lightweight coat at the moment, but which is why I'm wearing the duffel at the moment, but there you are. Chrissy Richards, hello there. It's -5 here in Sala, Spain. -5 is far too cold. But hello, Chrissy. I wouldn't say hello to you without giving you a nice long hug. Hello, my lovely. 25. Oh, too cold. Oh. I'll definitely need some cuddles to keep warm. Oh. No, but hugs and cuddles to you always, Christine. And also hugs and cuddles to your Clyde, too. Couldn't agree with you more, Sonia. Yes, couldn't agree with you more. No, but Sonia, I do hope your very, very loving German Shepherd is happy and well. Because like you said to me before, your German Shepherd is so loving. You were like, he was like, she's so loving, my dog. You know, very loving, and I imagine she's very affectionate too, your German Shepherd. Yeah. Oh, here they are. Hello, Danette and Anthony. How are you doing, my good friends? Hello. Danette and Anthony, thank you kindly for asking after others. Thank you. Thank you kindly, you two. And thank you, Heidi and Blacksmith, for your friendliness towards Danette and Anthony. Thank you. Thank you. Since we've got some newfound followers in here, although Danette and Anthony have been following me since before the lastly part of 2024, I want to show some old representations, but not yet. But I'm going to show some comedy representations. I want to show it to all of you because I think some of you will get a laugh out of some of these representations I've got. And honestly, when I made them and when I played them back before getting them uploaded, it just makes me laugh. It really made me laugh when I made them. Thank you, Danette and Anthony, for your friendliness towards Blacksmith and Hailey. Thank you. But when I made them, it just makes me laugh. It really made me laugh. It still makes me laugh whenever I make them. Okay, I'm going to show this comedy representation, or comedy sketch, if you like.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
My name is Jeff.
Have I had any more thoughts on subscribers and comments on lives? I'm assessing the situation come February, Carla. And come February of this year, 2025, after Valentine's Day 2025, I'm going to assess the whole matter, and if things still improve as they have done so far, well, I'll reduce the number of days one needs to be subscribed to comment on live streams, Carla, just to say. But at the moment, it's 7 days or longer in order to be able to accessibly comment on my live streams, but that could change come February. Just don't know how the mods are going to take to it, but that's my intention. Here in Britain, we all need to wear our thermal knickers in. True that, Maureen. No, but hugs and healing, Domary. Sappers in, hello to you. Yes, I'm very much awake this time. I'm very, very much awake. No? Thank you, Blacksmith, Sapper and Stevie, for your friendliness towards one another. Thank you. Oh, Pamela's here. Not without a big, nice long hug to you always. Hello, lovely Pamela. Oh, hello to you always. Hello. You know. Well, it was a short comedy sketch, but I've got a few others slightly longer, but they're not a minute-long comedy sketches yet. But it's always a hello to Pamela, her dearly loved husband, and of course Braveheart the cat too. Thank you, lovely. Hayley, thank you for your friendliness towards Pamela and Sapper. And Sonia, thank you for your friendliness towards Sapper. Oh, Jodie's here. Hello to our respectable mod, Jodie. And Jodie, no, really, Jodie, thank you most kindly, sincerely, for all that you do when you're moderating for other channels. Thank you most kindly, sincerely, always. Thank you. Thank you. Always hugs and cuddles to you, Pamela, always. And I'm going to show another comedy representation, and it really makes me laugh whenever I watch it from time to time and all that. No, it really makes me laugh whenever I watch it. Even though I've uploaded it already, I'm going to show the next comedy thing.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
My name is Jeff.
We loved your Saturday night. Oh yes, the Saturday Night Fever deep fake of me, which Zappa made for me. No, but I thank Zappa for the friendly deep fake he did for me of me as John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. No, but you and Jeanette would have seen. No, but yourself but both of you would have seen Saturday Night Fever when it came out. Oh, you found it funny. Thermal everything. I've got corduroy trousers on. Speaking of which, I've got cords on and plenty of jumpers, luckily, with the shirt. And another comedy thing I want to show to all of you here.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
My name is Jeff.
Donna and Dal Evans, Maximus Decimus Meridius and Jeff. Well, Dal could be the Maximus Decimus Meridius compared to Donna because he's a huge 6'8" man. Dal is, and Donna, on the other hand, is a petite little 5'4" lady. That's how one could describe her. Well, she said she was 5'4" and slim. Well, really, she looked petite as opposed to slim, and he looked nothing but huge. Dal did, but you know, some are built large. That is, but he could be the Maximus Decimus Meridius. In a way, whenever it's Sapper and I, Sapper's the Maximus Decimus Meridius, and I'm the Jeff, the little Jeff. Honestly, I can't get enough of comedy like that. And there's another comedy thing I want to show all of you now. Okay.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
My name is Jeff.
Mamus wasted. Mamus wasted. Oh. Don't worry, Jodie. I know you generally lurk, but there's no trouble with it. No problems at all. Hi, Anthony. Hello. Thank you for asking after Jeanette and Anthony. Thank you. Thank you. Happy learning you two are not too bad, and hoping you two are well always. Good evening, lovely Diane. Good evening to you and your dearly loved husband. Oh, much healing wishes to your husband post-stroke. Yeah. Oh, Sapper, this is too much. Fatimus bastardus. Fatimus batidus sapperus. Oh, goodness. Imagine. I just hope I won't get into any trouble with my mods for this. But that is funny. That is brilliant. Yes. It's funny, that one, yes. Oh, Diane. Oh, lovely, lovely Diane. Thank you kindly for your friendliness towards Sapper. Thank you. Thank you. And good evening to you, Herman Goodman. Hello to you. Thank you. Thank you kindly for wishing everybody well. Thank you. Just be me. Thank you, Sapper. Thank you for the advice. And also, Sapper, can I thank you for the very valuable advice you gave me a few short days ago, saying, or a week ago or so now. I can't remember when it was, but it was certainly very, very recently. Thank you for the advice to me saying, don't change. Thank you kindly for that. Thank you. Yes, it's certainly a good evening to Herman, isn't it? Hello to Herman again. Yes. Yes. And since there are some of you in here who may be new to viewing my live stream content, well, I know some of you have already seen it, but some of you may already have seen it, but there are some of you in here who have not seen it as of yet. So I'm going to show it now. One of my presentations. Certainly nothing to change. Thank you, Dinesh and Anthony. I've got some presentations to show. Some have already seen it, Dinesh and Anthony, but you two wouldn't have seen them as of yet. Okay, and I'm going to show. Here, in this very captivated depth of insight, we are going to be showing now the Hellingly Festival of Transport event. Hellingly Festival of Transport. One would certainly never, never, never in a lifetime regret going there if they happen to go. Marvelous. It takes place on the August bank holiday weekend. Initially, I always came under the impression at first it would only take place on the Saturday and Sunday of the bank holiday weekend, but last time I went, it took place on the Saturday, Sunday, and lo and behold, on the bank holiday Monday, being that of the 24th, 25th, and 26th of August of 2024. There's a lot to see in Hellingly Festival of Transport. They've got many nice, they've got a few food stands for those of you who are keen on food. But I'm not saying this to be rude, but I'm just saying if anybody wanted a bite to eat for some lunch or something, or needed something if they felt peckish, there's always some food stands on standby. But the namely by and large main interesting thing about Hellingly Festival of Transport is it's got a little fairground zone where they're like bumper cars, jam dodgems, or little cars and things. And that's also comprised of classic cars, vintage vehiculars of all kinds from all the vintage eras on the enchanted scale. And of course, they've got steam vehiculars, be that of steam traction engines, steam rollers, or any steam vehicle, or certainly steam lorries, not to mention. They have classic motorbikes. They even have an old arena where classic cars and other vintage vehicles can come in. And of course, they share a miniature railway, vintage buses, and of course, not to mention and not forgetting the vintage organs, which always provide much joyous enchantment whenever going to events like these. Nothing, in my opinion, could certainly beat Hellingly from my end of experiences, but I certainly cannot speak for somebody else's experience if they happened to go to the Hellingly Festival of Transport itself. And it's due to celebrate its 50th anniversary in 2026. It will certainly be something for the Hellingly Festival of Transport. So 2026 will be the special year for Hellingly, but above and beyond anything, since going to Hellingly Festival of Transport, I could just keep going annually. And it's all thanks to my bestie David Scott for introducing me to this very event itself. But happy 50th anniversary for Hellingly Festival of Transport in 2026. But obviously, come that very year itself, that's when the 50th anniversary is going to truly happen. Thank you for listening and taking the time for listening and watching about this Hellingly Festival of Transport presentation. And would I recommend it? From my end of experiences, from the times that I went, I would most certainly recommend going. Thank you all for listening. Ta-ta for now. Nothing, in my opinion, could beat Headingley Festival of Tots. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Tina. Hello to you from the No Other Cat community, that is. Hello, Tina. Mike has a Repro Triumph Bonneville. He had original in his younger days. How lovely. You'd love to go on that carousel. Well, if you were in Hellingly, Stevie, you'd get the chance to ride it. Yes, now I can imagine. I can only too greatly imagine so. Carla, yes. Your father has a brown Triumph Dolomite. You hated it. I wouldn't ride a motorbike. But I didn't know your father still rides motorbikes. Little did I realize that. It was one I'd shown before, Hailey, but there are some in here who have not seen these presentations as of yet. But thank you for your kindly comments all the same. Thank you. Thank you kindly. And here's another interesting presentation I'm gonna show to each and every one of you now. You love the sound, as do I, Pamela, as do I too. Oh, it's a car. Oh, sorry, Carla. Oh, Ellie, you're still here. Hello, Ellie. Is anything all right, Ellie? Ellie, I didn't say anything to upset you earlier on, did I? I hope not. You rode Indian Enfield halfway round world, but broke down in Australia. Oh, gosh, well. Right now, you are completing the ghost trial of Route 14, the old store. Interesting, Tina. Very interesting hearing this from you. Now, here's to another interesting presentation, which, again, some of you may have already seen this one, but some in here have not seen it as of yet, so I'm going to present it now. In this very insight here, we're going to be showing now the presentation, if one would like to share, also describe it. We are going to be showing the Worthing Minis by the Sea event. Worthing Minis by the Sea is an annual event that happens once a year, namely by and large, generally speaking, on the final Sunday of September annually. But sometimes the first week of September can happen on a Monday. So I would imagine in that circumstance it would likely happen on the final Sunday of August, if in the circumstances the first week of September begins on a Monday. That's my conclusion, but I could certainly by and large be wrong. But yes, I've been going to this event now for a good part of 2 years. And in that time, and in that 2 years that have gone, I do not regret going, and certainly do I not look back on going. I mean, I'm happy I went. But how I found out about the Worthing Minis by the Sea event, it's a very good and interesting one, but it's actually a fun story in one way or another. I found out about this very event at the time of the 2022 Parham Park Sussex Steam Rally event. David and I, we were looking at some classic cars, only for us both to have seen on the classic car a little slip that said Worthing Minis by the Sea, Sunday, 4th of September 2022. I looked at it, so I took a picture of the slip and kept the slip with me, and have just been going to Worthing Minis by the Sea event ever since. I mean, my goodness, am I pleased I have gone. I am certainly very, very pleased I've gone to this event. And it was from that very time in July of 2022, after seeing that very one and only advertised slip on a classic car representing Worthing Minis by the Sea, that it prompted me to go, and have been going annually ever since. So my guess is come 2025, it will likely take place on the final Sunday of August of 2025. But normally the thing is with this event, they don't normally advertise when it's taking place until really about a couple of months or so before the event is really by and large due to start. But I can only so far guess it's going to take place on the 31st of August 2025, but would I certainly recommend Worthing Minis by the Sea event. I most certainly would. I would recommend it to everybody up and down the length and breadth of the United Kingdom. And of course, I'd recommend it to everybody around the world too, if they're thinking about going to Worthing Minis by the Sea event, if on holiday over in England in the United Kingdom. And Worthing Minis by the Sea, it's namely comprised of minis of all kinds, from vintage heritage era, to modern day. Obviously, one should be careful getting inside and out of these small classic minis, obviously because of height and weight, and in my case, 5'8", 11 stone, or 154 pounds, I would certainly recommend one be careful because I have to be careful. Thanks all for listening to this very insight, and here we go for Worthing Minis by the Sea 2025, and the presentation over and out. Thanks for listening. Ta-ta for now. Nothing could beat this event, in my opinion. Hi, thankfully. Hello, thankfully. Hello to you. And we generally see you on Annabelle's content, but it's certainly a real pleasure to see you here. Hello, lovely. I certainly couldn't agree with you more, Pamela. Yes, minis are so cute. Yes, I certainly couldn't agree with you more. Particularly the vintage ones. Particularly the classic minis are brilliant. You love the old minis. New cars have no character. Chrissy, I completely agree with you. I certainly couldn't agree with you more there. The new characters have certainly completely no character really whatsoever. Annabelle, hello to you. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Please, Annabelle, please, don't you worry about being late. It's certainly no issue at all. No worries at all. No worries at all. Thank you, Shane. Much appreciate. You have one. I, for one, have yet to see these presentations. Marvelous automobiles. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Thank you. You had a serious crash in a mini traveler. Oh, no. Oh, that is awful, Stevie. That is awful. Yes, our Annabelle is here, thankfully. Indeed, she is. She most certainly is here right now. You've only been in one mini. Interesting. Interesting. Isn't our Annabelle just lovely? She's always lovely, isn't she? One must certainly be careful to get inside and out of a small classic mini as a result of height and weight, but other than that, nothing, in my opinion, can beat a good mini rally, a good car show, being that of mini cars. The best highlight of the mini car shows, be it Worthing Minis by the Sea or any car show event, I mean, the classic minis are always the highlight, certainly in my opinion. Yes, because you're shorter than the 5'6" of height, aren't you? So you could fit in perfectly. You can't get your leg over in the back of a mini. Yes, particularly a classic one. It's very difficult to get inside and out. Very tricky to get inside and out of a small classic mini. Speaking as a man of 5'8" and 11 stone, which in the American neck of the woods or Canadian neck of the woods is 154 pounds, it really surprised and shocked me when I first tried it. It was actually very, very tricky, and actually I found it quite difficult, despite being a 5'8", 11 stone man, sapper. Small thing as I might be, it was actually, the small mini proved very tricky for me to get inside and out easily. I mean, I could sort of just, just get inside and out of it, but it was just tricky, that's all. And I think when one's got back issues and things, it would be even harder to get inside and out. It'd be good for you easily, Heidi, yes. And Another interesting thing, I'm going to now this is very true, Sapper. This is very true. Couldn't agree with you more. You love Daphne, Nixie, and Terence. Thank you, Tina. Terence the cat, by the way, Tina, is my grandmother Anne's cat. Terence the cat is my grandmother's cat, but Daphne and Nixie, they're mine. And thank you. Thank you for your kind endearment towards the three cats. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Another interesting presentation. Some of you have not seen it, but others have, so I'm going to show now. Now, as one can see here, this is a little presentation featuring Tinker's Park to show what it's like. Tinker's Park, the enchantment of Tinker's Park, is a steam rally event, or as I'd so like to describe it, a vintage and steam rally event, or a steam fair, as some of you would so like to describe it. And would I say it's worth going to? It most certainly is. It is worth going to for all people of all nationality, no matter what their background. I would recommend it to all holidaymakers internationally, Tinker's Park, for whenever it's on. The only thing with Tinker's Park is that it doesn't happen regularly. It only happens over certain periods of times annually, with one batch taking place in either the very early June or the final weekend of May, before the half-term school holiday is over, and another in August and one on the final weekend of September. As one could see, Tinker's Park has got a miniature railway, a narrow-gauge railway, vintage vehicles, steam traction engines, steam vehicles, and the organs. Well worth the visit. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation of Tinker's Park itself. Nothing, in my opinion, could beat Tinker's Park. I mean, nothing could beat Tinker's Park. It normally happens, it takes place 5 times. Well, it happens over a period of 5 days in total, 3 times a year. You know, the first batch is normally on the final May-June half-term weekend, and then they have another one in the early weekend of August, and then they do one more in the final Saturday of September. So it happens 3 times over a period of 5 days, Tinker's Park, just to tell most of you, for those of you who are not familiar with Tinker's Park. Yes, I can see you, Tina, I certainly can. Android in for another presentation here. Welcome, very welcome to the Hove Museum. Now, as you're to see here in this very inside, this is what the Hove Museum and Art Gallery looks like. It's been around for a long, long time, longer than I could have remembered. But inside you'll find it's a nice, peaceful little enchantment. Nice place of enchantment, peaceful, and generally not too big, too small, and certainly not too large. If one can see in here, it shows all different kinds of history of Brighton from over the years, from what it would have looked like dating back from the Victorian era, pre or post-war, and to how it's evolved to where it currently is now, as of today. It shows not only some of the Brighton and Hove history, but it also shows some of the talents of artistry, of several art sculptures of certain things. Hence, it's also known as an art gallery as well as just a museum. And as we go into the inside, one will see all kinds of various different pictures featuring the Hove Museum from when I was recently there. So sit back, relax, and do enjoy all that has to be seen in this very representation of pictures, well, the slideshow representation featuring the Hove Museum, as to whether or not it appeals to one's interest, and a museum and art gallery based on a particular place of locality. Thank you for taking the time in watching this very representation, well, slideshow representation, if you like, featuring the Hove Museum and Art Gallery, based in my home location. Thank you all for viewing. Ta-ta for now. That's one of my nearest museums, Hove Museum, and it's enchanted to see. Hello, Lissy. Hello to you. Good evening. It's certainly lovely seeing you as usual. And hi, Margie. Hello to you, lovely Margie. Thank you, Christine. Thank you for saying it was interesting. Thank you. I'm very well, thank you, Margie. Hoping you're well too. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you kindly. Where you used to live, you had Severn Valley Railway. They restored Severn Valley Railway. I did know this about the Severn Valley Railway already, Chrissy, and it's one of my places of where I want to go to in the future. The Severn Valley Railway. I know that one quite well. Even though I'm not Worcestershire based, I do know of that railway quite well, having read about it in a railway book. I've read a lot about the railway itself, which is where I got the knowledge of it from. Now, welcome to another little insight here of an event that I'm known to annually attend. This representation of this very event in this live stream here will be showing and showcasing the Tenterden Bus Rally. The Tenterden Bus Rally, it by and large annually takes place either on the second Sunday of August or the third Sunday of August every single year. I've been attending this very event since August of 2021, and from my experiences from going to this event, I would certainly give it a big recommendation, and I would certainly recommend anybody, those up in the length and breadth of the United Kingdom in its full entirety, and certainly those abroad, to give this event a try and worth going to. That's if they were over from their home country to the United Kingdom at the time of when the Tenterden Bus Rally was running, just to share an example. But Tenterden Bus Rally, it takes place right outside of the Kent and East Sussex Steam Railway, because Tenterden is the starting point of the Kent and East Sussex Steam Railway, and that is where the Tenterden Bus Rally takes place, right outside of the starting point of the Kent and East Sussex Steam Railway. So every time I go to Tenterden Bus Rally every single year, I always see the Kent and Sussex Steam Railway in the background, and sometimes even hear the steam and diesel engines in the background whilst I'm attending to it. It's worth going to. From the moment I first went to Tenterden Bus Rally, it was the week after I first went to Tinker's Park, going back to August of 2021 now. I do look back, and I certainly do not turn back and look back on it now. It was after Tinker's Park, I checked the website again, and I thought, right, Tenterden Bus Rally, well, I think now that's the next event I've got to do. Having pushed myself to go into Tinker's Park, as most of you know, despite being feeling broken and crippled with sadness at the time, I pushed myself into going to the Tenterden after Tinker's Park, and it obviously took time, but as you know, over time I steadily began to realise the positive effect it had on me attending. But the special credit goes to David Scott for sending me the link to the very website that advertised and represented the Tenterden Bus Rally itself. And it was only through that website, David sent me a link to, that I found out about Tenterden Bus Rally itself. And because of that, I've now been going every year since. And I would not change going to Tenterden Bus Rally for the world. And maybe, just maybe, one day in the future, I may one day have a ride on the Kent and East Sussex Steam Railway whilst attending the Tenterden Bus Rally in the future. But we've got to give it a go. I mean, I don't know if I will give it a go or not, but I will certainly give the Tenterden Cantonese Sussex Steam Railway arrived whilst within the Tenchton bus rally event, but obviously I would have to get back in time for the final bus departure from Tenchton Railway Station. But Tenchton bus rally, it's worth going to, especially if one wants to have a ride on the preserved steam railway, since it takes place right outside of it. Thank you all for taking the time with listening to this very presentation. Thank you most greatly sincerely for listening always. Ta-ta for now. Here's the Tenchton bus rally for 2025. Yes, it certainly is for Tenchton bus rally 2025. Chrissy, right. Great. Well, thank you. I would love the scenery. Goes from Kidderminster to Bridgnorth and then returns. Usually in Bridgnorth are interesting towns. I've never been to those towns before, Chrissy, but thank you. Thank you kindly. You've sent some pictures of your organs when you was younger, mainly on Polaroid. I don't think I've seen your organ pictures, Sapper, but I have got a few pictures of vintage organs myself. Lovely retro vehicles. Thank you, Herman. Thank you kindly. I couldn't agree with you more on that. I certainly couldn't agree with you more. And okay, another presentation in the works. This event here is one of the classic car events I've been attending now only since 2023. Before one asks, this event is the Worthing Lions Classic Car Show event, which annually takes place by and large on the final weekend of July every single year. As one would see, there are a range of classic cars, and it's known, I think, within the Lions Classic Car Group. I don't know the classic car group that specializes in the Worthing Lions Classic Car Show well, but the person you ought to ask in order to receive a fairly reasonable answer towards, he would share his tint of knowledge on it, David Scott. But this event, is it worth going to? Oh, it is worth every bit of time and money. And the concepts I've seen in these events are valuable conceptual experiences. These events may not be everybody's milk and biscuits, but is it worth going to for just an attempt? Oh, it most certainly is. This is the insight of the Worthing Lions Classic Car Show. And for those of you who are thinking about heading over on holiday to England from your home country, would I recommend one goes there if it's going ahead whilst on holiday? 100% yes, but I'd leave it to one's own discretions. Thank you for listening to this very insight of the Worthing Lions Classic Car Show event. Interesting event. You're coughing heart up. Oh gosh. Love these old church organs. Oh, the church organs are enchanted. Oh no. Oh dear. Your rib. Oh no, Dormery, your ribs hurt. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, I just want to give you a hug, Maureen. Your ribs hurt. Oh, and you're crying. Oh. It's definitely going to happen one day, Sharper. Me riding on the Cantonese Sussex Steam Railway, whilst I'm going to the Tenchton bus rally event, it's definitely going to happen. I'm going to make sure it happens for sure. Oh no, Sapper's still crying too. No. Poor Sapper and Dormery. Oh dear. As Sapper was so asking, as he was so asking me, as to whether or not I've got any pictures of some organs I've seen. I could show a good and interesting and fairly valuable picture of one that I've got. You're crying, no, Stevie, oh no. This is one of my greatly valuable pictures featuring an organ here at Tinker's Park. That's a Limonare organ. Very, very enchanted organ, I must say. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. It's very upright. I couldn't agree with you more, Sap. I couldn't agree with you more. Oh, it's enchanted. It's enchanted, Pamela. I like it very, very much. No, it's a very big organ. It's a very, very big organ, Hatman. And that's a picture of an organ I saw in Lawton. That's a Lawton organ I saw on a trailer. Equipment maintained by hand, Sapper. They're the best equipment. The equipment maintained by hand are generally, by and large, the best equipment. I would certainly say that. Better maintained, better equipment, especially those maintained by hand. I would say so. Oi, less of the old. This is not a locker room. Oh dear, Pamela, I'm sorry. I am sorry if I've caused any naughty behaviour now. Sorry about this. And this is the Tulip Fairground organ. Dutch Street Tulip Fairground organ here. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Pamela, thank you. Moy! I used to know a lady called Moy a long time ago. Lovely lady, Moy. We used to converse together about 4 years ago, something like that, Moy and I. About 3.5, 4 years ago was when we last heard it. Was because, and she was a nice lady, Moy, but you mentioned Moy. Moy! Moy! No, nice lady she was, Moy. Very, very nice lady. It was a rainy day when I saw this but it was raining, so that's why I had the hood over, just so that it wouldn't damage the organ itself. That's a tulip carvery. It's carvery, metal carvery, that is sap of the tulip, metal carvery. But why it had the hood sap was because of the wet, rainy weather. That's why. But good one anyway. Funny as it is when it's said, Stephen Hammond. All that. Mhm. 15 in the chat and the ladies aren't talking. Oh gosh. The hood stop reproductions. This is only too right there, Seppa, only too right. And Charlie's here. Hello to you, lovely Charlie. Not without the most protective hugs to you always. No, hugs and cuddles to our lovely Charlie girl. And obviously, obviously, one should make our little Charlie feel warmly welcomed and safe, shouldn't we? Oh, oh. A nice, lovely, long cuddle to our lovely Charlie. And also, Charlie is small enough for one to give her a protective, a nice, long, protective cuddle. Just to say, it's lovely, lovely. It's lovely seeing our lovely Charlie in here. Hello to you. But please, Charlie, don't worry about being late. No trouble at all. You couldn't help it. Never mind, Sapper. You have fantastic humour. You've got fantastic humour. Oh, Blacksmith. Blacksmith, thank you kindly for your friendliness towards Charlie herself. Thank you most sincerely, kindly indeed. Thank you. No, we'd always hug and protect you in whatever way we can, Charlie. Always big hugs to you, always. We'd always hug and protect you in whatever way we can. Oh. Oh. No, always a nice long protective cuddle to our little Charlie. The nice long protective cuddles we see in the movies where one puts the hand on the back of one's head and the other arm wrapped around the arm and shoulder area and hold them firmly and tightly but gently like they do in the movies and all that. Oh. No, but thank you, Stevie. Thank you kindly for your friendliness towards Charlie. You're suppressing your laughter out of respect for the nuns who taught you in high school. Oh, Pamela, your humour is fantastic. You've got fantastic humour, which you certainly retain very well, I must admit. Thank you, Charlie, for your friendliness towards Pamela and Blacksmith. Thank you. And thank you, Pamela, for your friendliness towards Heidi. Thank you. Thank you. And gonna show now. Now, I'm going to show an interesting representation. Some of you have not seen it as of yet, but many of you have. But there are some in here who are yet to see it. I think I'm going to now give it a good show here. This insight, well, it may be a little unusual, but I thought it'd be worth sharing. This little insight is showing a slideshow of a few pictures featuring certain buses and coaches that were used on hire for rail replacement services. This was back in the very latterly part of November of 2024, when I saw some rail replacement services running outside of Brighton railway station. I mean, I'm not sure if a bus ride would appeal to a very great many of you on here. I'm not sure if any one of you would use a bus for a bus day trip or to simply go somewhere to meet a friend or so. I'm not sure on that, but this one here shows a little presentation of rail replacement buses here. Might sound a little boring, but I thought it'd be worth sharing. Rail replacement bus services, on the other hand, with the distinction, unlike a normal running bus service that runs a regular route and regular service on set numbers of days with a set timetable, rail replacement buses, or rail replacement bus services, on the other hand, they run at random times because railway repair work happens at random. It doesn't just happen on a fixed time, it can happen at random, any time, any day, anywhere. And so bus companies, it's my concluded assumption that bus companies are hired by the railway companies to use rail replacement bus services to get the passengers to where they need to go to, and all that. When it comes to railway repair work, and there are no running train services, except for certain public holidays, that is, by and large, and all that. But this little presentation shows the representation of rail replacement bus services, and they come at valuable importance when the railways are not running, in order to help passengers get to where they need to go to, whilst the railway is undergoing extensive and important engineering improvements or serious repair work, by and large, on the whole. Thank you all for taking the time in listening to this insight and presentation on rail replacement bus services, and do share your thoughts on this insight, and of course share your thoughts as to whether or not you use a bus or not. Thank you for listening. Ta-ta for now. Quite the representation. No, but it's not often one sees rail replacement buses. The difference between a bus and a coaches are generally larger than buses, Pamela, and they have a higher fuel capacity generally, and also coaches, they generally go longer distances. Buses, they generally just run a fixed route within a certain distance of mileage. But coaches, on the other hand, they generally go further distances, well, longer distances, and they're generally bigger. And also, as Sapa said, they're also normally private hire. So those are the main differences between coaches and buses, whereas buses, they're generally not private hire, unless you're going to hire it for a wedding or a special occasion or so, then that would be the private hire circumstances for buses. But other than that, buses generally aren't private hire, it's namely coaches. We have taken some tours in Europe that use coach buses, but it's usually their own coaches. Interesting that you've done this, thankfully. Interesting that you've done this. If we could, Charlie, we could just hug and cuddle you. We could just hug and cuddle you anytime, lovely Charlie. We could just hug and cuddle you right now. It's a pleasure always. Always a real pleasure. We must protect our small and little ones, shouldn't we? Especially if it's lovely Charlie. One must always, always, always protect the small and little ones. Christine, yes, now you've got something to share. You was on a coach your first time to the UK. Oh, fascinating. Oh, very, very fascinating and interesting learning so. Took a coach tour in Ireland. Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant, Hailey. Fantastic. Fantastic. And Francis Leach, hello to you. Hello, hello, hello. Certainly is a real pleasure to see you in here. We've been showing some presentations, but don't worry about missing them. No worries at all. You've done river cruises too? Oh, that is fascinating. That certainly is by and large very fascinating. Okay. Okay. Well, now, gonna show. I have swam a long time ago. I've swam a long time ago, Sapper. I think I still can, yes. I think I more or less still can, yes. I mean, I haven't swam for a long time, but I don't know if I've lost the swimming ability or not. But last time I did it, I could do it. Fortunately, river cruises sound lovely. I certainly couldn't agree with you more. Certainly couldn't agree with you more on that. Flew to Switzerland and came back on a coach. One stopover in France. Impressive. How very impressive. Very, very impressive. He was on a competition swim team as kids. Still loved the water. I've never done a competition for swimming. I've never done that. But I've swam namely for pleasure. And now for an interesting presentation. Right, okay. Welcome to another representation here, or a presentation on this slideshow. Now, in this very presentation here, this one is showing an enchanted, wonderful place, which I must say, oh my goodness, I'm surprised it's not a prominent point of interest, when I really do personally think it should be a prominent point of interest, this very place. And this very place I'm talking to you about and showing here, this place needs no introduction, Amberley Transport Museum. Amberley Transport Museum, it well and truly needs to be a prominent point of interest to go to in the United Kingdom as a whole. But never mind if not. But hopefully it could change. Never say never. It's possible it could change in a few years' time, but we shall see. We shall see. It could change to being a highly prominent point of interest, to the point where tourists just flock to go and see this place and go visit it and all that. But we shall see what happens. That's for the future to decide in its fate of entirety and all that. That is only as truth has things. But yes, here we are. The Amberley Transport Museum, as you can see here, this is namely presenting and showing an event. This event, as seen in the Amberley Transport Museum here, was the Amberley Museum Autumn Bus Show event, which took place earlier this year on the 22nd of September of 2024. And goodness, did I certainly believe it was a resoundingly brilliant success and a fantastic event well worth going to. Amberley Museum, they're generally open even when there are no events, but they're only opened over certain months of the year. They do close over a certain period, like quite a good few other museums here in the length and breadth of England and the United Kingdom as a whole, and other museums around the world that represent a lot of historical heritage, insights and vintage history and all that. Most of those museums, I mean, I'm not saying this is prejudice, but generally to by and large share a fair point. Many close at certain times of the year before reopening at a certain time of the year, namely for tourist season or just before the tourist season picks up and all that, by and large, even though it can get crowded in the tourist season, but too bad, unfortunately, for those who dislike crowds, but that's another story. But yeah, there we are. Amberley Museum, oh, you can thank one person and one person for giving me the incentivization and recommendation in going to Amberley Museum itself. This man, he needs no introduction. It's Jonathan Clements, another one of my greatest and good friends, who I think of very, very dearly in the fondest regard out of the friendliness of sincerity in every way. Jonathan, he's one of my new friends who I encountered around about the same time I first became familiar of Graham and Fiona back in 2023, and Trevor Colt and the Hutches too. So one can really thank Jonathan Clements himself for recommending the Amberley Museum to me. Amberley Museum isn't fortunately not terribly far from Jonathan himself, so in the future we're going to have future meetups at the Amberley Museum. That is obviously in showcase dependence of our circumstances, but I believe we're going to meet up quite a good few times at Amberley Museum. It's certainly a place for me to go to in my future, Amberley Museum itself. But really getting to the whole on the event that I went to, I would recommend the Amberley Museum Autumn Bus Show event big time. I mean, it was just an astonishingly fantastic event. They show buses from namely vintage era and also fairly modern day era, but the much more interesting highlight, if you like, of the Amberley Museum bus event are when they're showing the heritage vintage buses and all the rest of things. But Amberley Museum, they have other interesting sites to show. But when I go to Amberley Museum, which I'm to be going to again in 2025, I shall be going on a day where it's not going to be an event happening, but I am, however, going to go to quite a good few Amberley Museum 2025 events over the course of 2025, being that of the events that I can personally attend to. But they have lots of interesting sights to see, and even a narrow gauge railway, not to mention, at Amberley Museum to tell oneself of things on an exciting note. And you don't need to pay an additional fare to ride on the narrow gauge railway, but you only have to pay your entry fee at the Amberley Museum, unless you've got annually paid memberships, as far as I'm certain how it goes and all that. Thank you all for taking the time with listening to this Amberley Museum Insight. And would I recommend Amberley Museum to tourists visiting the length and breadth of the United Kingdom as a whole? I would 100% most certainly say so, yes indeed. Thank you for listening. Ta-ta for now. It's definitely a place in my future. It's definitely a place in my future to go to. Amberley Museum for sure. It certainly is a place for my future. Nation, hello! That presentation was wonderfully narrated, like something from the British Pathé. All it needed was some light music from Robert Farnan to accompany me. Oh, thank you. You love visiting the UK. I'd recommend visiting Amberley Museum. Thankfully, when it's open, I definitely recommend visiting that place for sure. Completely for sure. Abby, hello, lovely Abby. Abby and Bella, hello to you both. Charlie, you're not very good travelling on buses, but those vintage are fabulous. The vintage buses, if anything, Charlie, vintage buses, they're worth looking at and seeing. They are well and truly worth seeing, the vintage buses, and certainly worth the ride on the vintage buses. Better than modern day, in my opinion, I certainly must admit. A lot of the latest newer buses, they're quite boring to look at, certainly in my opinion. But the older buses, enchanted, well and truly enchanted, and represent the great captivated depth of preserving our vintage heritage history in every way, if one could so describe it, and all that. As do I too, Herman, as do I too. I prefer old buses as well, Francis Leach. I prefer them too. The cat passed away. That was Charlie, yes, from the Know the Cat community. Poor Charlie. Not Charlie Gale, but Charlie the cat from the Know the Cat community. Spend your retirement looking after your cat. I do know that, Blacksmith. Yes, your Basil. I know that only too greatly well. I know that. You know, but yes, and I do know, Blacksmith, I did see the comment earlier on, but I've not highlighted. I haven't highlighted your comments, though. I do know that your granddaughter does the dress horse events and things. I do know that very, very greatly well. I do know that extremely well, just to say. No, but I just hope the horse is strong enough for your granddaughter, Blacksmith, because I remembered you saying your granddaughter is quite a tall lady, and I'm pretty sure there's only a certain height one has to be in order to ride a horse, or if you're doing like racing a horse, or certainly dress horse show and all that. But is it jockeys you have to be a certain height to ride a horse? You know, I mean, that is, or is it something else where you can just do the horse shows at any height? You know, because I'm pretty sure to be a jockey riding horses in races, I think you have to be a certain height and weight in order to be accepted into those challenges and things. You used to love the London buses you hopped on the back of whilst running along, scary and dangerous, but you enjoyed it at the time. Now you don't have those buses now, unfortunately. They got rid of well, thank goodness the route masters where you could hop on, hop off. Thank goodness many have been preserved, but they scrapped just far too many of them. Far too many route masters were sadly scrapped. Far too many. No, there were far too many have been scrapped, the route masters, but thank goodness they preserved some of them. You know. A lot of the newer buses now are very boring to look at, in my opinion now. I would certainly say that, or many would here. You love cats, as do I too, thankfully, since I've got ownership of 2 cats. 2 cats. Poor kitty. Jockeys have limitations. Dressage riders not. Oh, okay, thank you. Her horse is 15 hands. It's okay for her. There are different classes for height. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know, blacksmith. Yes, we don't have them in service anymore, Abby, yes. No way you'd be running along trying to jump on one, any. Trying to jump on. No, I don't think I'd do that either. I mean, I wouldn't do that either. I wouldn't run to jump on the bus either. I wouldn't do that now. I probably could have been able to do so as a child if we'd still had the route masters in service. I would probably try and do that as a child, but not no, not now. Alfredo, hello to you. Hello to you. Thank you. Thank you for your friendliness to all of us, Alfredo. Thank you kindly. Which video are you referring to, Tina? Which video? Sapper is selective, yes. Sapper is selective. Used to be fascinated with coaches when you was a kid. Used to see so many companies parked up in Great Yarmouth when the tourists came. Oh, impressive. Impressive, Herman. Yes, we got Tina in here, Alfredo. We certainly do. Your dad was a bus driver when you was little. He used to take you in a cab when he drove a double-decker. You had to sit on the floor of the cab. Then he became a paramedic. Oh, it's your husband's birthday. Happy birthday to your husband. Love, thankfully. Happy birthday to your dearly loved husband. Got to bake the cake now. I do hope the cake and baking recipe works out okay. Ta-ta for now, thankfully. Happy birthday to your husband. You can barely walk. Oh, poor you, John Marie. Poor you. Poor you. I'm so sorry hearing this. That's why they are called route masters. Good one, Sapper. Good one. And well described about the older buses. Very, very well described indeed. No, but very, very interesting story about your late father, Charlie. Very, very interesting story about your late father. About when he used to be a bus driver, but then became a paramedic after his bus driver. Very, very interesting story about your late father there, Charlie. Very, very interesting. Oh, Charlie. Oh, Charlie. Oh. I still very, very much empathize with you regarding the loss of your dearly loved mother. No, I really, really do empathize with you greatly, who went on my birthday. Very, very, on a saddening note, on my birthday, you lost your dearly loved mother. And I know just how close you were with her. No, I'm really sorry about the loss of your mother. Oh, you've got to go. Ta-ta for now, Christine. We're going to be finishing fairly short in about a few minutes. But it was certainly wonderful seeing you as usual, Christine. When you are into it, the pain isn't so noticeable until later. Too true. Sap was in a feisty mood. Oh, Pamela, you are cheeky today, aren't you? I think there's not just one feisty person, but I think there are two feisty. There's a feisty and cheeky lady in the chat, and that's you. Although you'd probably not take too well to me saying this, but you know. But you have shown some feisty and cheeky moments yourself in one way or another, Pamela, you know. But we love you all the same. We love you. Your memory isn't that good. Not everybody is blessed with good memories, Dormery, sadly, you know. You're cheeky in response to Sappery's stuff. You are just brilliant, Pamela. You're well and truly brilliant. Oh. Yes. And oh, it's a pleasure, Charlie. It's a pleasure. It was difficult this time without you. Oh, Charlie. All I can do is just empathize with you in great sympathy. That's all I can do, empathize with you in great sympathy. No, it was probably rather cheeky of me, Pamela, when I mentioned this fictional story of me over in Texas, when I was with you over in Texas. Fictionally speaking, but not in reality, obviously. You know, but not in reality. Where I was like, it was one Texas evening, and I was like, I got up, and I was like, right, I think I'm going to go off to the pub or bar and go out for a little drink, until I get stopped by Pamela saying, where do you think you're going? It's like, oh, I'm going out for a little drink in the pub or bar. And then she's like, you're not going anywhere. I was like, but I'm a fully grown man. I mean, I shouldn't be stopped. She's like, no, you're not going. It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. And then she's like, oh, Foxy, honey, I know I'm sorry if I'm being overprotective of you, but walking over and giving into an embraced long hug to me and said, I just cannot stand the idea of you getting hurt. I don't want to see you hurt one little bit. Started it and will actively encourage it. Well, I think it's both of you this time, but both of you are brilliant with your humour. Lord Jim Dandy is watching. Hello, Lord Dandy. Hello, Lord Dandy. Cannot join. Yes, because of the restriction, because of the trolling issues I'd faced, yes. But hello to Lord Dandy. Hello, good sir. Take care, Sir Dandy. Right, unfortunately, it's time to finish things off. And just very quickly before we finish now, very, very quickly, there's going to be a channel that's probably going to go live in about the next half an hour. So I'm going to put a link to the channel, which is going to go live in the next half an hour. And I'd certainly recommend many of you come and join if you so want to. This is the No Other Cat community. Okay. Right. For those of you who want to, ta-ta for now, Herman. Ta-ta for now. Do take care. For those of you who are interested in the No Other Cat community, which is probably quite likely by and large gonna take place in the next half an hour or so, I'd certainly recommend one comes in here. Thank you, Alfredo, and we love you too. Thank you. Thank you. Right, it's time to finish things off. Yes, Jodie, we're 1.5 hours. Time to finish. Seriously, finish things off. Thank you all very, very much indeed for watching, and which some of you sort of think. Ta-ta for what now? Ta-ta for now, Shane. And it's time to finish things off. Sorry, I was just looking for something. Thank you all for watching. And the next live stream will be on Saturday. We've got the Saturday live special. Not without a great big nice long hug. Ta-ta for now, Pamela. Hugs and cuddles always. Pleasure, Alfredo. Pleasure. Even the naughty ones here in Marie. You take care, lovely Charlie. Hugs and cuddles. Ta-ta for now, Abby and Bella. Yes, it's time to finish things off, everybody, because of likely now the live stream, the No Other Cat live stream which is my concluded assumption it's going to take place in about half an hour or so. Thanks all for watching. Goodbye, and may your good wishes be bringing you great expectations of happiness.